Oh no! Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then hi, I'm Abby, and here we talk about books all the time. Can you believe that January is finally over? The longest month of the year, in my opinion, which also means that I've been on YouTube for a full month now, which is absolutely crazy. I've absolutely loved being a part of this community. So if you have interacted with my videos, subscribed to my channel, liked any of my videos, commented anything, then thank you so much. It really does mean the world to me. I hope to be doing this for many years to come. But of course, as the month is over, that only means one thing. If you're thinking of January wrap up, that is also coming soon. But first, I need to pick my February TBR. If you watched my last video, you would have seen that I have reorganized my TBR cart to make this challenge so much easier for myself than it was last month. So naturally, I'm already feeling far less stressed about this prospect of it this month. I will say, as a general disclaimer, I'm really trying not to be too hard on myself about how much I'm reading this year, because I think that just sucks the enjoyment out of it. But last month I really enjoyed having a list of books that I'd set for myself to read, which also meant I was giving myself a chance to read these books that I probably wouldn't have picked up without this challenge, which I loved. I am going to stick to picking the 5 books again, because I think that's just a realistic target for me with my work, a schedule, just yes. So I'm back for February once again with my trusty strawberry jar to choose my reads for this month. Also, you will see how well I stuck to my said January TBR in my wrap up video. So stay tuned. Right, on with the show. I don't think I'll ever get bored of looking at her. She's just so cute. Let's get into it, I guess. That always annoys me. Why is the lid so... What do you mean by that? A bit of a rummage. Victim chosen. Let us see what I've picked. Oh, okay. From an author you've never read. I feel like there could be a few to choose from this alone. That doesn't really narrow much down. It's going to be like based on vibes then, I suppose, of what I want to read. Let's turn to this trustworthy cart. I mean, that could literally be 90% of the books on this cart that I could choose. So I might be kinder to myself this time and choose smaller books, because last month I had a few quite big, hefty books, majority of them which were fantasy. I took quite a while to get through them, so I might be strategic and pick a smaller book. Oh dear. I could go for a fantasy book, I could go for a romance, or I could go for like all the others. I went into this challenge like really hoping that I'd get a chance to pick this one book, and I think this gives me the perfect opportunity to do it. Push myself out of my comfort zone and actually read it, because otherwise I'll be too scared and I wouldn't do it. And you know what? I think I'm gonna go, oh no, I've got 2 I'm gonna choose from. Okay, I'll show you my 2 options, both from like a similar genre, similar vibe. Okay, so for the book of an author that I've never read before, I want to either read John Dies at the End by Jason Pargin or Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bastarrica. These are both like horror / dystopian. I'm pretty sure this is horror crime thriller vibe, and this is like dystopian but horrible, horrific dystopian. I think both are going to be quite like jarring, scary reads, which is not like me at all. It's just like, what one do I want to read more? There might be a chance throughout this video that I get to pick the other one, but just in case I don't, I need to be very clever about my choice. I mean, this is a bigger book, this is very small, but ooh, I really don't know. You shout at me now which one you want me to pick. Maybe the vibes will reach me and I'll know what to pick. Okay, let's weigh this up. Small book, long book. This is a newer book for me, but this is one I've wanted to read for a longer amount of time. Thinking about choosing one now, I think I am going to be more drawn towards John Dies at the End. I feel like if I picked this one, I'd feel disappointed that I wasn't getting to read this. Just purely because it's so different to what I normally read, and I think that's what I need. I think I need a bit more of like a refresher. So yeah, I think for my first book, for my February TBR, from an author who I've never read before, I'm going to read John Dies at the End by Jason Pargin. I do that every time. Let's check how many pages this is. The back is pretty gruesome. Okay, so it's like a 500-page book, which for some reason I seem to have been reading all of last month as well, 500-page plus books, which is crazy. But yes, we'll see. We will see. I'll report back in my February wrap-up, or maybe sooner, depending on how I feel about it. But yeah, first book, John Dies at the End. I wonder if he actually does. It's time to dive back in for book number 2 of the February TBR. Let us go. My hand, I feel like my hand wants to get stuck in. And one day I'll probably put my whole hand in it and have to get it surgically removed. That's one. Pink! We love a pink one. Oh. A book published in 2024. I am unsure immediately if I have any on my cart. Because I think the majority of these books are either ARCs publishing in 2025 or books that I've had for years and years. Let us assess the situation. So that whole top... Oh, no, I'm wrong. Quicksilver was published last year in 2024. I've just been really bad and haven't read it yet. So that's on me. So we have Quicksilver. We have Heavenly Bodies. We have Best Hex Ever. What else do we have? Wild Eyes. Just check that when was this published. I think it was 2024. Yeah, okay, it took me ages to see that. I'm looking at the... Wait, what do you call this? I should know. Anyway, that was published in 2024. Love Over Brighthaven. Oh, quite a lot of them then, actually. The reappearance of Rachel Price. So after all that, we do actually have a fair few books to choose from. And I thought my life was going to be very easy. But example of me just having to be ruthless about this. I'm asking myself if any of them are like jumping out at me. Like, really obviously. I feel like I'm being more drawn this time towards fantasy or romance. Which leaves us with Heavenly Bodies, Best Hex Ever, or Quicksilver. Wild Eyes could be a really good palette cleanser actually. 2 books in and I'm already stumped. I forgot how difficult this was for me last time. Okay, do you know what? I'm biting the bullet. I'm doing it. Look how shiny that is. I am going to read Quicksilver. Finally. Okay, that's really long. This is like 600 pages. Also, side note, but how stunning is this proof? Really, really obsessed with it. I know so many of my friends absolutely devoured this book, absolutely loved it. So I'm hoping that I will also feel exactly the same way. I was going to read it at some point. It's one of those that you just have for a very long time and you're like, one day I get to that, one day I get to that, and then fast forward 5 years and you still haven't read it. So I think it's good that I'm forcing myself, not forcing myself, but motivating myself to read it this month. And I do think it's going to be right on my street. I do think I'm going to really enjoy it. So, without further ado, I am declaring Quicksilver by Callie Hart to be my second read of, not 2024. That was last year. What I mean to say, my second choice book for my February TBR in 2025 with a book that was published last year in 2024. I think that made sense. So far, that's the amount of pages I've decided to read. So much for me saying let's go for small books this month, isn't it? I'm the least likely person to listen to myself. And that says a lot. Okay, without further ado, we have reached the midway point. No, you can't have a midway point with 5 books, can we? We've reached the point in the video where I'm choosing my 3rd book of the February TBR. Off we go. Oh, let us see what it is. Oh, wow, someone's listening to me. A book under 200 pages. Yes. That has brought me an infamous amount of joy. This is the universe's way of telling me to stop picking long books. And I have to listen. I think I know which one. Oh, actually, I think I know which one it's going to be. I actually don't know if it's under 200 pages though. I'm judging by like spine width here. Could be under 200 pages. I think these 2 books are under 200 pages. I'm doubting myself now. Okay, so obviously we had Tender of Flesh. Oh no. It's 220 pages. Oh, and this Oranges is a New Fruit? Oranges is a New Fruit. I just tried to call this Oranges on the New Fruit. That's not the title. The title is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. But we can see what happened there, I think. Whoops. That's definitely not its name. But this also is not under 200 pages. 224 pages. Ah! How annoying. How very inconvenient for me. Do I just break the rules? I mean, I set the rules. I can break them, surely. I have no unread books that are under 200 pages. I guess it was quite ambitious to put 200 pages. That is quite a short book, right? Yeah, you know what? I think we can have a leeway of 10%. 20. Yeah, that's right. But I never claimed to be good at math. I think we can accept slightly over 200 pages for this. So out of these 2 I've picked, I'm pretty sure no one's going to be surprised for me to say that I think I'm leaning towards Tender is the Flesh. And by leaning towards, I mean I'm going to pick it. If you saw my unboxing, you will know that I've wanted to read this book for a long time, but only just got my hands on it. And it's set in a dystopian future where for some reason, animal meat is no longer edible. So they've resorted to farming human beings instead, which sounds absolutely heinous, but also like that morbid curiosity within me just needs to read it and find out why. What happens? Why they can't just eat vegetables. I don't know. The whole concept of this book is so intriguing to me. And whilst I do love like the new wave of dystopian, like futuristic style, I do love the depraved dystopian. I'm feeling it might be a little bit similar to The Road by Cormac McCarthy, but probably far off the mark with that. But that's the vibe it's giving me, like dark dystopia. Very eclectic mix of books, I guess. But a horror, dystopia, I guess kind of go into the same genre with this book. But yeah, this is my third pick for my TBR for a book that is under 200 pages, more or less. I feel like for the next read I need to pick something quite light and happy. We'll see. On to my fourth and penultimate pick of my February TBR. Let us go. Oh, that's dramatic. Okay. A book with a dual POV. POV, point of view, for those who don't know, / and or are confused. Which includes me, because why have I wrote this? Dual POV. How am I going to know that? What book has a dual POV? What was I thinking when I wrote that? One sec. I think I've got it. I think I know. Yes! Yeah. Okay, well that was done. Done and dusted. I thought I might be on the mark with this choice. It is of course Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. And I immediately knew this would have a dual POV because that is like the case with all of Elsie Silver's books that I've read. I love a dual POV in a romance book so much, and Elsie Silver does it so well. I just love getting both sides of the story. When Elsie Silver writes the guys trying to play it cool when in reality in their POVs they're absolutely feral. That's what I live for. I feel like Elsie Silver does not need any introductions. Basically, she writes the best cowboy romances. You've probably heard of the Chestnut Springs series, which I absolutely devoured. Love it so much. This is the Rose Hill series, so it's different, but more or less the same because it's just as enjoyable. I always absolutely fly through these books. I think, how many pages is this? This is like 450 pages. I guarantee I could read it in a day, like one singular sitting. They're just the kind of romances that are so enjoyable, so fast paced, and you just can't put them down, so you have to finish and have to find out if they end up together, which of course they always do. I just think an Elsie Silver romance would be the perfect antidote to like the heavy books that I'm reading this month, and be a nice way to like cut that up. I have no doubts that this is the perfect choice for me. I'm not even going to bother looking at anything else. Maybe I wrote that subconsciously, knowing that I would always have an Elsie Silver book to fall back on. And if I did, then I thank myself, because what a great choice that was. Short and sweet, to the point, I'm choosing Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver for a book with a dual POV as my fourth book on my February TBR. That is a mouthful. I feel like so far this has been so much quicker, or I've been so much more decisive than I was in the January video. So far I have the 4 books that I'm reading next month, which of course means there is only 1 book left to complete my TBR pile. I'm really happy with these choices so far. Like I said before, this is such a fun way and method. Choosing books, of being able to choose books for yourself that you otherwise wouldn't pick that month. Pushing yourself more out of the comfort zone. So I would recommend doing it, even if it's just one time, like for 1 month that you do this and see how it goes, because I'm so far really enjoying it. There's also not a law that you have to follow it. Like if you don't feel like it that month, that's fine. Like you be kind to yourself, you know. On to the final book, I guess. I honestly can't remember any of the ones I wrote in here, so it's a surprise, genuinely, for me, when I pick one out. Here we go. Oh no! Okay, I'm not actually sad. I'm not. This one, okay, I'll just show you what it is first. Last pick is a thriller book. And I'm not upset about that fact. I just think there's only 1 book on this cart that could quantify as a thriller. It's not going to be as fun for me to pick. So I'm a little bit stroppy about it. Is this a thriller? Like, I don't think so. I'm actually so wild for putting that down because I don't actually own that many thrillers. It's so rogue from me. Honestly, so rogue. I've knocked myself a 6 there. I'm going to have a look on my main bookshelf, actually, for this one. Not funny, but it is funny. Books with thrills? Or like an actual thriller? I don't even think the one I'm thinking of is quantifying as a thriller. The Reappearance of Rachel Price. Is that a thriller? A mystery with thrills? Or this? Death of a Bookseller. I guess this is more thriller-esque. I really don't fancy that this month. Can't lie to you. I mean, this isn't a thriller, but it's thrilling. It's also huge. Oh, no! Sorry, not me thinking I know better than a blurb on a book. This says, notorious high-octane thriller. Oh, I'm so stupid. The brand new unmissable thriller. It literally tells me and I'm like, that's not a thriller. Yes, it is. Abby, you know nothing. Clearly, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Well, suddenly I'm overwhelmed with choice. And those options are The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson and Battle Royale by Toshin Takami. I went into Waterstones to buy this book 5 years ago. I loved the cover so much. I love the concept so much. I think people say this is the original Hunger Games. Alternatively, we have The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which came out last year, which I was going to pick for my 2024 pick. I love Holly Jackson. I love the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I think she's brilliant. Can't wait for her adult book this year. This is very big, 600 pages. This is slightly smaller, probably about 350, 400 pages. It's just a matter of me choosing one for my final pick. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go with Battle Royale. I've honestly said so many times, I even said it in the last video, oh, I wanted to read this one so long, I wanted to read it for so long. And it's just going to end up being one of those that I don't, isn't it? Unless I do. I think I have loads of more options to read this book. I feel like it has come out more recently. So I think, I do think I'm going to choose Battle Royale. I'm going to do it. Why not? That is huge. For my final pick of my February TBR, the last book chosen being a thriller, I am choosing none other than Battle Royale. Also, I'm so obsessed with this colour. I think it's so cool. I'll let you know how I get on. I always say I'm not the best at making decisions, and then I come and do this video and I'm like, I know what I want. This pile is looking a bit intimidating, I'll be honest. It's a lot more sinister and it's a lot more darker than last month's choices. I don't know what that says about me and how my January went, but I'm happy with what I've chosen. Another TBR video complete. And for the final choices, we have Battle Royale by Toshin Takami, Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bastarrica, John Dies at the End by Jason Pargin, and Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I think this book is going to be my only respite of this month. Honestly do. I need to fill up my TBR cart again. I need to get more books, guys. It's the only way. As I said, you'll see how well I did last month in my January wrap-up video, which is coming very soon. And as always, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. If you did enjoy the video and would be so kind, please, please, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave any comments and thoughts below if you've read any of these books. Let me know what you thought. And if you have any prompts for my next video, please share because I'm running pretty low. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute whirlwind of a month coming back to YouTube. I've loved every second of it. And I hope to keep making content for you that you all enjoy. So if there is anything you want to see for my channel, please, please, please do let me know. Thank you again for watching, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye!